Okay, hi everyone, this is Kerim Baran with SolarAcademy. I am here at the RE Plus 2024 Anaheim with Jason Higginson, product leader, marketing leader at APsystems.
Good to see you.
And good to have you here, Jason. And as you all know, we've done a series of solar conversations, or maybe you watched it, maybe you didn't, but APsystems recently announced a C&I Inverter.
We did.
And today we're going to talk about that new product.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah.
Jason, so tell us a little bit about how the show is, how the reception has been for the new product, and then let's dive into the details.
Okay, yeah. For us, RE Plus this year, we just had day one. Today's day two, and it's just been. I was telling you earlier, it's banging. It's just. Yeah, the industry really, bouncing back, thriving, and just happy to see that. Happy to see our partners and customers coming out from the woodwork from all over the world. We have partners that are from Europe, Asia, Canada, all the way down to Latin America, Brazil. Just happy to see so many people just come into our neck of the woods and seeing what's new with APsystems and catching up. We have our international APsystems team members here as well. There are some people, because of how the industry's been this year, some people, we're tightening the belt here. We're like, no, we're sending the whole team. We have like 30 people here from APsystems, so we're going all in.
Great. So let's talk about this new product.
Yep.
APsystems obviously has been one of the innovators in microinverters for a decade plus.
Yep.
Along with major brands like Enphase. And you guys have differentiated the product by creating a 2-for-1 kind of design,
multi-module microinverters.
Exactly,
that's right.
2 panels to 1 micro kind of, and also 4-to-1 as well.
Yep.
So now you launched this new C&I microinverter. Obviously, C&I has lagged in penetration vis-a-vis the residential market. Utilities have obviously gone. Utility scale has gone fast, but now C&I is catching up and is increasing market share. And you are entering the C&I market with a new QT2 product.
Exactly.
Is what that's called. So let's talk a little bit about the myths of why microinverters were not maybe appropriate for C&I,
Sure.
and why you guys launched this product and how that serves.
I'd love to talk about that. I think you set it up really well in that the commercial C&I Solar it's lagged a little bit in comparison to Resi, but we also see that as a huge opportunity. I mean, with the incentives from the IRA program, it's a tremendous opportunity to help businesses go solar, and to help solar installers also step into that space if they haven't necessarily had a lot of experience there with a product that's simple and intuitive. And so what we had done about a decade ago is we came out with our first 3-phase microinverter. And when you're the first to come out with something, there's a lot of lessons learned. So we walked away with a lot of a better understanding, because you have to trip up a little bit, you got to fall down, you got to experience from that where the fit is, whether or not you have the right product, do you have the right specs on that product, and are you putting it's your traditional 5 Ps, right? And so when we launched that product, we didn't really understand as much of the market as we do today. So a lot of the things that we heard at the time, which is what we're hearing today, is it's a microinverter. It's a residential product. First of all, it's not powerful enough for commercial PV modules. It's not powerful enough for commercial projects. Also, microinverters are historically too expensive. So a lot of these kind of barriers that we encountered as we were trying to introduce 3-phase microinverters into the commercial space, and that it's also installing. It's a lot of work. Having to put 1 on each panel, or in our case 1 on every 4. And so what we did is we're 10 years post that first introduction. And we got beat up along the way with a lot of those questions. And so we went, we're going to design from the ground up. We're going to design something for these commercial installers. This is their microinverter. What would they want? right? They want it to be powerful. They want it to be cost effective. They want it to be rugged and durable. And they also want it to be simple and, as plug and play as possible. Try to take some of the wiring complication out of three-phase. And so that's what we set out to do. And we accomplished it with this QT2.
Got it. And that's on a 4-1 configuration.
Correct.
And so how does that affect the pricing and the economics? Can we talk a little bit about
Absolutely.
that?
So historically, string inverters were the most economical solution out there. And what you'd see in rooftop solar is you'd have these the string inverters, but when NEC code requirements, they required rapid shutdown in each of these sites.
Yep.
So then they had to come up with a rapid shutdown solution. APsystems has a AP Smart, that sister brand that also sells those. So there are solutions out there, but when you add that onto the cost of a string inverter, suddenly that cost is more expensive.
Right.
And also now with the QT2, we can be competitive with string inverters that have that added rapid shutdown cost.
Yeah. So the shutdown component.
Yeah.
What's that cost in a typical resi install? Is it like another $500 to $1,000? Or?
Yeah, it can take up as much as the data we've seen is, if you look at your string inverter cost, it can be at 50 to up to 70% of the string inverter cost added onto the system.
Wow.
So it's a tremendous cost increase. They thought they were saving money by going with string inverters, but then they add up all this rapid shutdown equipment, and then it's like, okay.
And microinverters don't need that.
Exactly. It's built into the design of it, so the code requirement is anything that's in excess of 80 volts.
Yep.
But because microinverters are under that 80 volt threshold, then that NEC code doesn't apply to microinverters. So they're inherently compliant. Even still, we still test our product to meet rapid shutdown requirements. We have certificate and everything, just to make sure that even if the AHJ doesn't necessarily know about that that 80 volt requirement, that we still have certifications.
Got it. And the 4-1 configuration keeps that voltage below that threshold as well. Mm-hmm. Got it. And let's also talk a little bit about the reliability angle on these. I understand there are some benefits to doing lots of microinverters on a commercial install than a string inverter.
Well, that's another thing we wanted to do with the design. Is when we got that initial feedback, it's like, look, I'm putting one microinverter on each panel compared to a string inverter connect to all these components. Well, as soon as rapid shutdown entered the equation, if you think about a 100 panel system, you've got 100 rapid shutdown devices or optimizers that are connected to each of these panels, plus your string inverter components. So now on a 100 panel system, it's exceeding 100 power conversion or power electronic devices. And so in looking at the 4-to-1, we have 25 microinverters on that same system. You're reducing your number of components out there by 75%. So that automatically increases the reliability, reduces the potential points of failure within that system. So there are some inherent benefits of that, just the architecture alone, in addition to the product itself being more durable and reliable. I'm sure you have listeners that'll be like, have rapid shutdown issues. They've heard about them. They've seen them. I saw a Solar Builder article on some pretty, terrible experiences with rapid shutdown devices. And, using a durable microinverter that has an IP67 enclosure, it's going to be, a little bit more rugged for that with the true Staubli MC4 connectors. So all of that increases your overall reliability on a site.
Can we talk a little bit about the three-phase elements to this solution?
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have a specific question, or?
I mean, I understand there's like a plug-and-play right out of the box design to.
Exactly. Traditional microinverters used in a three-phase setting were single-phase microinverters that the installer would then have to manually balance the phases themselves. So they would put this string together of microinverters that would be leg 1, and then another string leg 2, then leg 3. You have your 3 phases, and it's just a wiring nightmare.
Yeah.
But we wanted something that was true plug and play 3-phase. So that's what we designed. So our QT2, it's got 5 wires in the cable. So you have line 1, 2, 3, neutral and ground, all built into the cable. So when you connect it, you connect a string of these together. It's full 3-phase going back to your sub panel, and wire it right into your sub panel and then into your main.
So decreasing a lot of the labor costs.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of the design too is simplified.
So what's the availability on this new product? Is it
available
shipping?
now?
Is it,
208 volt
worldwide?
and 480 volt, both available. The 208 is primarily used in the US, but we have QT2 that's specific voltages for those other markets. We sell it in Latin America, we sell it in the US, we sell it in Europe, and Canada.
And what are some ideal use cases for this in any C&I application, or are there other are there specific types of commercial industrial buildings that prefer this, that it works in a more advantageous manner than others? Where do you find the best use cases and some showcase customers maybe you can talk about?
Yeah, there are some great cases for it. We've seen the sweet spot is kind of in that smaller scale between 50 kilowatts to 500. It is competitive price wise on solutions up to a megawatt. So I don't want to put a higher end limitation on that. Its predecessor, the YC1000, we had some installations that were a megawatt or more that we actually had that product as a solution for those installations. But specifically rooftop solar, specifically that under a megawatt, kind of that smaller scale commercial rooftop solar applications. That's kind of where its sweet spot is.
How does that compete with just a straight out good old traditional string inverter? Because if you have a really flat roof with relatively less shading and complicated structures, what's the threshold to make the decision to go with that traditional old simple design versus something like that?
So with that, I mean, your traditional string inverter is probably going to be more cost competitive. So if you don't need rapid shutdown, you're more likely going to go that route. There are some benefits to going with a microinverter. As most of your audience will know, shading is a big one. But when you don't have trees, around, or you're not concerned about that. But
or
just
maybe some HVAC structures on the roof.
And that's another part of it. So you could have building, structures. I've also seen lots of photos with dust, bird droppings. There's lots of shading comes in many forms.
Yeah, that's right.
So you have to know your site, and it's a good indication when you get up to check on the rooftop for the first time. Look at what kind of debris is there. Look at what kind of environment. If those HVAC systems that you're talking about are covered in some of those things, and you'll have a good indication of whether or not you're going to have other types of shading than just tree or building shade.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Are there any customers or APCs that you can talk about that did a great new project with this product?
We actually had some on we did our awards recently that showcased our installers that were using those in different projects. Shouts out to Greenbox Solar. They do fantastic installations with QT2.
Are there other
Apollo Solar
media platforms that feature these? We can talk about that too.
On the APsystems website, you go to go to our award winners for 2023. We'll have 2024 next. And showcasing those folks that use those different microinverter products to just do amazing things with them. And we're very proud of all those wonderful installers that gave that a try and proved it out.
All right. Well, thank you very much for this quick summary on QT2.
You bet. Thanks for letting me talk about it.
Yeah. Thank you.